This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/get started. That's GREENLIGHT.com/get started.
I thought Taskmaster was cool.
It's just, such a cool idea for a villain. I feel like they kind of half-assed it because,
Yeah, Natasha doesn't have any superpowers.
Doesn't have any superpowers. Yeah, that's going to be an issue.
Heath, you have got to hold still.
Jesus Christ.
Still.
Ow. Seriously? You're startling him. You're startling him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll try to be in agony more calmly for the rest of this.
Guys, what the hell is going on?
Oh, hey, Noah. Hey, Cecil.
Get off me.
You know how I'm always coming up with awesome ideas to bring us more brand awareness, if you will?
I do not.
Yeah, last week you suggested we sell cocaine.
Right. So this week's episode got me thinking, what's our show missing? That's right. An adorable animal mascot.
Stop.
Well, you're moving. Stop
That's
moving.
me.
I'll stop
You
hitting.
keep hitting me. Stop.
And
I'm not
what animal
resisting.
is more adorable than a duck-billed platypus? Am I right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they are pretty cute.
Yeah, with their little bills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So turns out way less cute and friendly in person.
And also poison. They're poison.
Yes.
They have poison.
Very poisonous.
Finally
Bit venomous.
got him. Ha.
There we go.
Who's that mean man bothering you, Billy? Well, he's night-night now, buddy, isn't he? Isn't he, buddy?
His name's Billy. That's adorable.
I love it. I love it.
Hate you guys.
Hello and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts, because this is the internet, and that's how it works now. I'm No Illusions, and I'm going to be keeping this zoo this week, but I'm sure these motherfuckers are going to break out of their cages regardless. First up, we have two men who scratched Eat a Famous Animal onto their to-do list when they saw the title for this episode, Heath and Tom.
Okay, but the episode wasn't related. That's not part of it. Yeah, my bucket list has always been pretty much just a list of animals that I want to fry and then serve in buckets.
You wouldn't eat baby shark fin soup right now?
Oh,
Just
absolutely.
for the story of
Yeah,
something?
there you go. All right, so also joining us tonight, two men whose body hair requires them to put "and don't send me to a fucking vet" on their emergency alert bracelets, Eli and Cecil.
Yeah, I mean, technically, don't send me to a vet and do not resuscitate are the same thing. So, yeah, fair.
The body hair is like mostly a downside, but occasionally a random lady in the park over my belly. So,
Well, there you go. Yeah.
pluses. There's some pluses.
All right, so before we get going today, I wanted to talk to you guys about some decidedly unfamous animals. That's us. We'd be lying if we said we didn't start the show in hopes of becoming famous animals, but we'd be lying even more if we said that we accomplished that. But fortune isn't all the way out of the picture yet, so if you want to help us on that end, be sure to stick around till the end of the show. And with that out of the way, tell us, Eli, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
Famous animals.
Concept. We so rarely do concepts. Awesome. And Cecil, I'm not sure if you read a wiki about this or interviewed the subjects personally. One way or the other, are you ready to tell this tale?
I love horses, Noah. So it's one of the main reasons I did this essay.
There we go.
Get it?
I'm
Yeah.
so
Let's
excited.
get this started,
about
right,
this
guys?
fucking
Let's get
essay.
started.
Rein it in.
So,
Let's get it started.
Nay,
Bravo.
we'll let him have it.
all right. So where does our
Giant cock. Sorry.
all right? So Cecil, where does this?
Urinating a lot. I don't Horse.
All right. So Cecil, where does this story begin?
Our list of famous animals starts with Sergeant Reckless the pack horse. Sergeant Reckless started out with the name Morning Sun, named by a Korean stable boy that owned her. This stable boy needed money to buy a prosthetic leg for his sister who had injured the leg in a minefield, and he had to sell his horse. He sold it to Lieutenant Peterson of the United States Marine Corps for $250. The horse was then brought to the front, trained to carry loads of 24-pound artillery shells on its back for the recoilless rifle platoon of the 5th Regiment.
That's the saddest start to any story ever. Cecil, Up has nothing on Sergeant Reckless. There's an amputated little girl in a minefield already.
I know, man. I know.
Yeah, this is sad on so many levels. I don't even know which Sarah McLachlan song to play right now. Is it a montage?
Legs of an Angel?
What do I do?
The horse was also...
Not Legs of an Angel.
The horse was
Leg
also...
of an angel at the very most.
Maybe the one.
The horse was also trained to avoid barbed wire, lie down on the ground when it was under fire, and to run to the bunker when it heard someone shout incoming.
I feel like that got
I
abused.
feel like the guy who's in the bunker for the first time doesn't know the horse yet. You know? I like his story.
He actually went through a lot of horses that didn't learn that quickly. But it just
A lot
Selection.
of evolutionary pressure on him, yeah.
Yeah. The horse at first was kept near the camp, but after a while, they just let it roam free where she could walk into anyone's tent and lie down next to the hot stove inside on cold nights. The horse loved to eat. And here's a list from Wikipedia of what the horse loved to gobble down. Quote, she was fond of a wide variety of foodstuffs, entertaining the platoon by eating scrambled eggs and drinking Coca-Cola and beer. Food could not be left unattended around her. She was known to eat bacon, buttered toast, chocolate bars, hard candy, shredded wheat, peanut butter sandwiches, and mashed potatoes. However, Mitchell advised to the platoon that she not be given more than 2 bottles of Coke a day. End
No
quote.
beer limit. Interesting.
Yeah. She wasn't not only fond of chewing on food, she ate a blanket and unattended poker chips as well.
Okay. You know some new guy in that platoon got the ass blanket. Like, that was 100% what happened. Yeah. Also, that section of Wikipedia is a fun and cheeky way of saying we didn't have any food for our fucking horse.
Yeah.
Good job, Wikipedia.
On her first day in combat, she brought shells with a little help from someone leading her. And when the gun went off, at first she was spooked. After she calmed down, though, she was fine. And, quote, the second time the gun fired, she merely snorted. And at the end of the mission of the day, appeared calm and was seen trying to eat a discarded helmet liner.
Just a shot of the horse lying on a bed under a ceiling fan. There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly near. Buffalo Springfield.
Once she knew the route that she was going to have to make, she could make these trips on her own. During the Battle of Vegas Hill, she made 51 solo trips with the artillery shells she was carrying, over 9,000 pounds worth of ammo that day.
Wow.
She was wounded actually twice that day in the left eye and in the left flank, but she kept working. And because of her dedication, she was promoted to corporal later that day. Later, after the war ended, she was promoted twice more, once to sergeant on April 10th and then to staff sergeant on August 31st. She was honored with a 19-gun salute and a 1,700-man parade.
Yeah, if they really meant it, all the people would have marched in the middle and the horses would have gotten to watch from the sidelines. That's what you would have wanted, Cecil. That's what you would have wanted. 850 guys is the asses and 850 guys is the
In World War I, a group of soldiers numbering about 550 were trapped behind a hill, behind enemy lines, without supplies, when they began to be bombarded by their own side's artillery. After a bit, the number left alive was down to just below 200.
You're trying to out-sad the one-legged Korean kid.
I
See what you're doing.
I think I am. They couldn't send any human runners because they're too close to German machine guns, so they decided to dispatch a carrier pigeon. The first pigeon, and me calling it the first bird here is probably a bit of a spoiler. It was released with a message that said, quote, many wounded, we cannot evacuate, end quote. It was shot down. The second bird, you notice that I'm still not naming them, spoiler, had this message, quote, men are suffering, can support be sent, end quote. It died valiantly in the line of duty.
Okay, Cecil, I don't want to cast a pall over your whole essay here, but I'm pretty sure none of these birds, like, signed up at a recruitment center or wanted to kill them.
I guess so, yeah.
I feel like we just need to take a moment and appreciate how polite that second
Right?
bird letter was. Like, There's 300 of your friends blown to shit by your own army all around you, and you're still asking politely like you want to be excused from the
Dear sirs or ma'ams, please stop murdering us. We're on your team.
So they reach into the coop and they get the next pigeon. This one, Cherami, was given the note, quote, "We are along the road parallel to 276.4. Our own artillery is dropping a barrage directly on us. For heaven's sake, stop it," end quote. The bird was released and immediately shot down by the Germans with a shotgun. But pierced through the breast and missing an eye, it got up and flew 25 miles to the headquarters.
Jesus.
With the message delivered, she's credited with saving the lives of all those that were left. When she arrived back, her leg was damaged so bad that they had to remove it.
Sorry.
And the
They
soldiers
sent the bird back?
No, when she arrived. When she arrived at the place at the headquarters, they had to. She was like she had like a dangler, so they had to cut it off. And then they actually. But this is kind of adorable. The soldiers carved a peg leg out of wood for her, and then they gave it to her, and she could sort of hobble around that way. Cherami was.
That is
it
adorable.
is adorable.
Did they give her a pat
It is
for her
adorable.
eye too? Who sits on her shoulder?
Cherami was awarded the Croix de Guerre. There you go. It was a medal and then a palm of oak leaf cluster for her heroic service.
Okay, so there's this fucking mad-eye, moody-looking pigeon getting free drinks at the bar, trying to hit on the waitresses. You know, I saved 200 guys from their own army. She's busy. She's busy. They're all too busy for Cherami. Cherami spoke in class today.
Nice.
Pearl Jam. It's a band.
Very good, Heath. Very good, Heath. I laughed. I thought it was good. Another war story. This one's from World War II. Smokey, the Yorkshire Terrier. Smokey was a tiny little gal weighing only 4 pounds and only 7 inches tall. There's like this adorable image on Wikipedia, this dog inside an army helmet, and it looks like a swimming pool. It's fucking so small. It's adorable. You have to see it. Smokey was found by a GI in the jungle of New Guinea. That GI sold her to another for $6 and some change so he could keep playing poker. And the new GI, William Wynne, he would take Smokey in his backpack on missions for the rest of the war.
Yeah, because if there's anything soldiers don't have enough of, it's responsibility and weight to carry.
We've got to be quiet, Smokey. The Germans, and you're barking at a shadow.
Yeah.
Cool. We're dead. Good dog.
Smokey ate leftover rations and Spam. She had a little doggy bed in Wynn's tent. Smokey flew on 12 different combat missions dangling from Wynn's pack. She was awarded 8 battle stars, and I'm not sure what that is. I only know that term in the context of Galactica. She also
beats combat stars.
She also survived 150 air raids and a typhoon. Here's a quote. Quote, Smokey even parachuted from 30 feet in the air out of a tree using a parachute made just for her, end quote. Wynn said the dog saved his life on multiple occasions as an early warning system for artillery. Smokey was also taught several tricks, including learning to walk a tightrope blindfolded.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay. The day that paid off in a fucking battle, the trainer guy made a scene.
I bet he did.
Oh, we're not going to need a blindfolded tightrope walking dog. That's what you sounded like this whole time. Now we didn't get killed by Nazis. Fuck you.
She also performed for wounded soldiers at the hospitals. And because of this, Smokey is the first recorded therapy dog.
Boy, I'll tell you, Cecil, war is just adorable, huh?
Okay. I see what you're doing. Let's talk about a few dogs that were loyal until the end.
Oh, if you're talking about that fucking Futurama episode, I'm leaving now.
It's kind of is.
Yeah.
Kind of is.
Damn it.
This first is Hachiko. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It's an Akita from Japan. The dog's owner was a professor at Tokyo Imperial University. Every day after work, the professor would arrive at the station and the dog would be there waiting for him. One day at work, the professor had a cerebral hemorrhage and died at school. The dog, though, would go each day for the next 9 years of its life and wait at the station at the same time each day for its human to come home. There's actually a bronze statue of the dog at Shibuya Station made in its honor.
Dog's just sitting there. When this motherfucker shows up, I'm going to bite him so hard. He's so lame.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I sometimes remember to call my dad every couple of weeks. I should really do better. I'm going to get him a dog.
Another similar story out of Edinburgh. This is the story of Bobby. Now, this is probably more story than something 100% documented. So keep that in mind here. But the story goes something like Bobby belonged to a guy named John Gray. He's a night watchman for the police. I don't know what that is. Anyway, he died when he was buried, Bobby spent the rest of his life on his human's grave. He's said to have guarded the grave for 14 years. And there's a statue of Bobby in Edinburgh at the corner of Candlemaker Row and George IV Pole Bridge.
Hey, guys, Scotland, can we circle up real quick? Take a knee. When a dog is living on a grave for, what did you say, 14 years?
14 years, yeah.
14 years. Okay, so when that happens, maybe we adopt it and give it a new home instead of letting it live in perpetual grief, homeless on a grave.
Maybe we'd make a better story. Yeah, it stayed there for a single day and was adopted. Yeah. That's a better story
and then someone
than
was
that
like,
one.
this dog seems sad. Let me take it home and give it some
belly rubs or something. Yeah.
Just avoided a citation needed for you. You're welcome.
Next, let's talk about Pickles, the crime-solving dog. In 1966...
This is my favorite.
The Jules Rimet Trophy, which was the World Cup trophy up until 1970, was taken from a stamp exhibition in London.
Well, yeah, most likely by a well-meaning employee who's like, well, that ain't a fucking stamp. That doesn't go here at all. It's not wrong place.
The guard took a short break to come back and find the cup gone. The people who took the cup took the trophy, which wasn't worth all that much, and left the rare stamps that were over 3 million pounds.
Jesus Christ.
The chairman of old-timey FIFA got a call demanding $15,000 in ransom money for the trophy, and the police conducted the drop-off for that ransom money using slips of paper covered with 5-pound notes, and then they wound up catching the guy.
So, first of all, they asked for 5s and 1s originally, and then literally that's what happened. And then they were like, 5s and 10s. We're gonna make it 5s and 10s. So an undercover cop showed up with the money and the fake paper, and the thief was like, "You didn't bring any cops, right?" And the undercover cop was like, "No," and that worked. Like, how does that ever work? They lie, right? The cops can lie if they want.
Sorry,
obviously.
Cecil. Was this Ruse Pickles' idea? How does the dog work into the story?
The dog's like, you don't really need a 5-pound note for everyone. He's not going to count them.
Make him show you your dick.
It's fine. It's fine.
His dick.
Eli, I mean, like, Noah takes half an essay to get to the point. I take one paragraph and you're on my dick.
The point is that half of the essay, Cecil.
Also, Noah is never promising me Pickles the crime-solving dog.
All right, here comes Pickles.
He's so cute, sometimes you just want to hold the pickles.
That's so bad.
You're still laughing. But the guy who stole the trophy did not give up its location. So enter Pickles. He's out with his owner. He gets off his lead and he runs straight to the neighbor's car and he finds a little package wrapped in paper. So he starts tearing at it and it turns out it was the trophy. So the dog's owner goes to the local police station, sets the trophy down and declares that he has found the World Cup. And the police officer says something so prototypical police and British. Quote, "Doesn't look very World Cuppy to me, son," end quote. And then after some investigation,
it was the World
I know,
Cup.
right? Yeah. And after some investigation and some explanation, because they thought he was probably the thief.
Yeah, right.
He and his dog Pickles were heralded as heroes.
Okay, that guy was so clearly the fucking thief or part of the crime.
I know.
He got a reward of 6,000 pounds eventually. And he got to party with the English team after they won that tournament in 66. So clearly part of the crime.
His dog, Pickles, was given the National Canine Defense Medal and appeared in a film called The Spy with the Cold Nose.
That's excellent.
And he won Italian Dog of the Year.
Okay. like I know old timey movies had way slower pacing than that, but I would love to know how the fuck they stretched "Dog Smells Something in Car" into a feature-length film.
So, Cecil, would it be fair to say then that pickles is kind of a big deal?
Okay.
Fantastic, Tom. What do we take a pause? What happened? Take a bow. What happened here?
It's a big deal.
What happened? Eli's semi-sour about that.
Puns really are your bread and butter, Tom.
I'm just jerking your gherkin. Classic.
In 1925,
Classic.
there was a potential for a deadly outbreak of diphtheria in Alaska. The serum to stop this was in Anchorage, and the plane that could get to Nome to deliver the serum just wouldn't start. So a group decided to use dog sleds to get the medicine to the people that needed it. They would have to travel in minus 62 degree Fahrenheit, that's 52
Jesus
degrees
Christ.
Celsius, blizzard conditions, and 674 miles. It's over 1,000 kilometers to deliver it. Lots of people and dogs participated in this relay to get the medicine where it needed to be, but the one that got all the
And then
credit...
60% of people refused to take it.
But the one that got all the credit and has a statue in New York Central Park is Balto, a Siberian husky. The Alaskan natives and the dogs that basically did 2/3 of the run get glossed over, but Balto was the one that was photographed after and afterwards was just hailed as a hero. But that was only for a short time because the dogs, due to their notoriety, helping the humans not die of disease, were sold off to the vaudeville circuit to live in just terrible conditions. They were basically kept barely alive in tiny little sideshow pens. They were eventually rescued from this super shitty life and spent the rest of their days in the Cleveland Brookside Zoo, which actually doesn't sound much better, to be honest.
You kids want to go check out the dog section of the zoo? I'm assured that they've had truly terrible existences, kids. Come on, let's go check out a dog.
Well, okay, so now we've learned that Cecil can even make like the Siberian husky that saved half of Alaska into a bitter, sad story. So I need a break. We'll back after a little apropos of nothing.
And then, when I get back, I learn it was our own troops that were dropping the bombs. Yeah, man. You've told me like 100 times.
Oh,
I know the
sorry.
story.
Did you want to tell the story about the time you ate a blanket again?
You don't even know. It was so dry.
Guys, we're supposed to be having a good time.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a group of famous animals.
Dude, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. Just came back from them putting up a statue of me in New York City. You guys hear about that?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
I heard
man.
about that. Mhm.
Oh, my statue is in a train station.
Oh, that's cool. I don't really like trains. I kind of prefer to fly, right, Cher? Right?
Sit down.
Anyway, can't stay long. Got a book signing this morning, boring. But what are you going to do? It's part of this publicity, right?
Right? Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I get it.
absolutely.
I
Hey,
get it.
guys, am I late?
Oh, hey there, Mr. Hands.
Oh, are you kidding? Wouldn't miss this for the world. Famous animals together again. Am I right?
Yeah, totally.
Yep, of course. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I didn't know he was coming.
Good phrasing.
Right.
And we're back. When we last left off, animals had been shot, wounded with shrapnel, mistreated, caged, and thrown out of fucking trees. So, Cecil, what fun awaits us
Okay, but
next?
there was this adorable little parachute in the throwing out of trees.
Yeah.
And a peg leg for a pigeon. I mean, there's a lot of...
So
Okay,
somebody
yeah.
built a
Treats.
tiny little parachute, and they were
No.
like, "Yeah, this is gonna work for this tiny little
We've
dog."
got a whole Looney Tunes to draw from at this point. We could get 30 years out of this.
2 weeks ago, we did a lady who starved people to death. Okay, get off my back.
Didn't starve animals, though.
Next is the story of Banks' horse. He lived in England in the late 1500s. The horse was named Morocco and was evidently a hell of a performer.
I mean, we just did a Mr. Hands joke, Cecil. Does it
Okay.
really?
No.
All
no.
right. So,
Yeah, and I just Googled Mr. Hands, Eli, and I miss my sweet
I
innocence.
do too.
audience, now you're curious. Don't.
Do it.
No.
Just don't.
Just be
Just don't do it.
curious.
Just don't
Just
do it.
never do it.
Just don't do it.
If
There's no
you're a
reason to do
child,
it.
if you're a kid with a kid, especially.
Be a coward.
Jesus Christ.
Kids listen to this show sometimes.
So let's go back to Morocco here. Morocco could walk on 3 legs, could lie down, play dead. It was able to pull people wearing specific things out of the audience for like for instance, glasses. Morocco could distinguish between colors. It could drink a bucket of water and piss on command.
For clarity, it could drink a bucket of water and then the horse would urinate on command. It wasn't a mixed bucket. I was very confused.
I guess, yeah. Water and piss.
A mixed bucket?
Yeah, maybe a comma. I don't know how to fix
Yes.
that.
I don't think anyone blames you, Cecil,
I don't-
for that.
It would go into the audience and pick out women that it thought were virgins and one it thought were harlots. And it would bow to the king and the queen, and it would bare its teeth like a dog and chase its owner around the stage.
I'll show you for making me slut shame people, Banky.
Yeah, right. They burn them at the fucking stakes. So I want to just point out that our piss jokes are really an homage to an art form that dates back to the 16th century. We're classy, guys, if you think about it. We're keeping this alive.
One famous trick, which certainly involved some sort of clever sleight of hand by its owner, Morocco would wait for the trainer to collect some money from the audience. Then it would count out with its hoof how much money was collected. This act was so popular, it inspired several other people to train animals and try to compete. Bank, to outdo the competition, set up a show on the top of St. Paul's Cathedral, which was a great success. So then Bank took the show on the road again, and it was a sensation.
And in every case, Banky required everyone to exit through the gift shop.
Banksy.
In Paris, the horse became known as Monsieur Morocco. Word of its exploits spread so much that he was arrested in Paris because they thought he was a sorcerer. The owner was a sorcerer. So they had to show them that he was using hand signals and not magic to cue the horse.
That's
Okay,
amazing.
in retrospect, I don't know why I did not see the fake thumb on the horse because that was very obvious.
He left Paris for Orleans, and the show was a huge hit until again, Bank was charged with witchcraft, this time sentenced to burn at the stake. So then, quote, Banks was given a last show to redeem himself.
Wait, so you just had to not succeed at the track?
Right. Yeah. Keep counting, horse. Keep going.
It's a little different. Quote, continuing the quote, during the performance, Morocco knelt down before the cross one of the priests held, proving that he was not the devil. When Bank left Orleans, he was given money and great commendations for his troubles, end quote.
The horse starts counting out the reward. Burn it! I knew it. What did they think the devil's agenda was as a counting horse? Like, what was what was the plan?
Oh, no.
I just came here to say that the guy with the magical horse was given way more of a fighting chance to prove he wasn't a sorcerer than literally anyone ever.
The horse and the dude.
Today, even.
Another horse of note was beautiful Jim Key. This horse was trained by a former enslaved person, Dr. William Key, a self-trained veterinarian. The horse could, according to Key, read and write. It could make change for a sale. It could do simple math for numbers under 30. The wiki also says it could do trigonometry, but I suspect the horse was too obtuse for that.
Okay.
Okay, Cecil, I should have known you'd go off
triangle
on
joke.
a tangent. It was every sign.
What happened?
Formula follows function, Tom.
Somebody use secant. Seabiscuit. Secant. Damn it.
It's close. Dr. Key said he never used a whip, but just his patience to train the horse. And the horse traveled the nation, teaching children to be humane to animals. The horse performed for President McKinley, and he said, quote, "This is the most," let me do it as President McKinley would say it. "This is the most astonishing and entertaining exhibition I've ever witnessed," end quote. And McKinley also said that it was an example of what kindness and patience could accomplish.
Cool. Yeah. And then pretty much immediately he got shot by someone he was giving an autograph. It's pretty funny. I'm just saying. Kindness and patience, then he got shot.
But so let's be clear here, like, fucking Horace couldn't read or fucking write, okay, or do simple math, right? Fucking McKinley was just some dumbass that probably would have said the same thing about a linking rings route.
This will be great for our railroads. Pep, I got shot by a lady. Owie.
The next story is Zarafa the giraffe. The giraffe was a diplomatic gift to Charles X of France from the Ottoman Viceroy of Egypt, Mehmet al-Pasha, who made an appearance on our Suez Canal episode. The baby giraffe was captured in Sudan and then brought by camel to the Nile.
Okay, all right. The image of a baby giraffe riding a camel goes a long way to making up for all the dog getting shot by Nazi stories we started with.
She went there by barge. There were 3 attendant cows that provided her with a daily requirement of milk, which was 25 liters. When she made it to Alexandria, Zarafa boarded a boat and set sail for Marseille. They had to cut a hole out of the top of the boat so the giraffe could stick its head out.
That's awesome.
Man, that early periscope technology was weird.
They decided that they were gonna send her to Paris by land, so she spent the winter in Marseille. And they made her this adorable yellow coat and little yellow shoes to keep her warm in the winter. And then they set out for Paris. And she was accompanied by her milk cows the whole way. She walked 41 days through the French countryside, drawing crowds of up to 30,000 people. When she made it to Paris, she was presented to Charles X, and over 100,000 people, which was about an eighth of the population of the city, came to see her. After that, giraffes were in. Giraffe pottery, giraffe ceramics, figurines, rugs. The color and pattern was all the rage. Even hairstyles were made super high to imitate the size of the animal. Zarafa lived 18 years in Paris, and then she died, and then they stuffed her, and they put her in a garden for a while, and then in the Natural History Museum.
Golden days of being a giraffe, my friends. These days, you cough twice, and they're feeding you little lions in front of Miss Mickelson's 3rd grade class.
All right, let's end with a story of Lobo the wolf. Lobo was a North American gray wolf that lived in New Mexico. Humans came to New Mexico and decided to kill literally all the game there, so there was no natural prey for the local wolves. Humans did bring a bunch of docile livestock with them, so the wolves quickly took to hunting that. The local ranchers, upset at the wolves for eating their animals, started to set out poison traps for the wolves, which the wolves would essentially discard. They'd eat around, and them not dying and pissing off the ranchers even more. One could say that the ranchers were not jolly.
That's different, right?
Jolly ranchers.
Well, okay, so but like
ranchers,
candy.
Lobo
is Spanish for wolf, right? So at least I just so so something tells me the guys who named the wolf, Wolf the Wolf, are about to get outsmarted a whole bunch.
I guess that's right. They put out a $1,000 bounty on the leader of the pack, Lobo. That's about $32,000 in today's money. The trapper by the name of Ernest Thompson Seton, lured in by the money, decided to try for the bounty. He tried very carefully, poisoning 5 different baits, and he laid them out. The next day, all the baits were gone, and he thought for sure that all he had to do was walk around and he would see the corpse. Instead, he found all 5 baits in a pile covered with wolf shit.
Yes! Yes! All right, that's kind of impressive. He ate like other stuff just to shit on my bait. Fuck, is that an anvil? Right? That just fell out of nowhere.
Tried a number of different types of traps, but he would go out and find that they were carefully avoided or sprung and nothing was in them. Lobo is basically springing all the traps here. This went on for 4 straight months.
Cecil, I swear to God, if they don't fall in love by the end of this story.
Okay. Well, while his traps are being thwarted, these 4 months did give Ernest time to find out that Lobo had a mate. So he went about
triangle
trapping her. He lured her in with the
like a Midsummer Night's Dream, basically. Happening.
Seton lures his mate in with a cattle head, and he traps her. The trappers found her, and Lobo was free, and he was right next to her. They killed the mate, and they took her to a cabin, and Lobo followed. Also in the story here, Lobo supposedly cried for like 3 days straight, like howling. And they talk about how it's very, very sad. I just wanted to make sure I could emphasize the sadness here.
you wanted to
I wanted to do
I'm
that.
glad we're ending that.
Yeah, sure,
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Comedy podcast.
No,
Nailed it.
Tom starved people to death 3 weeks ago. Okay, so
They deserved
Nobody
it.
would
They
ever
weren't-
believe that I would starve somebody.
Nobody trapped a guy's wife and then he showed up and there was no food. That's fine.
using the maid as bait, they trapped Lobo, and they could have killed the wolf, but seeing the dedication that Lobo had to his mate, Seaton changed his mind, and they muzzled Lobo and they took him to the ranch.
Much
Lobo
better.
died 4 hours later of a broken heart.
Okay.
But hold on, but his death had changed the heart of Seaton.
It grew
And he was
3 sizes that day.
he dedicated his life to championing the wolf after that. Some say the retelling of this story by Seaton was what started the conservationist movement. The story
it's gone
is said
super
to
well.
have, yeah. Eli, you're making this story sad. The story is said to have inspired the great David Attenborough. And on the Seaton estate is now the Academy for the Love of Learning, which, and here's their mission statement, quote, explores the vital connections between Seaton's early 20th century vision of wild nature, contemporary environmental issues, and thoughtful stewardship, end quote.
And if you had to summarize what you learned in one sentence, what would it be?
All of these famous animals would have more Twitter followers than Eli. Just wanted to say that out loud.
I have that, and I've tweeted 5 times in the last 2 years. Anyway, are you ready for the quiz?
So how dare you? Yeah, sure. Let's do this.
All right, Cecil. Most of these stories were really fucking sad, but not as sad as A. Eli's pug's daily struggle to breathe.
How dare you? Marjorie Tyrell is an
Every
excellent
moment
help.
is agony. It's A.
That dog is so unethical.
Just
Wow.
so unethical.
Crazy
And you're a
unethical dog.
vegan. That's just
Awful dog.
So many pictures.
Awful dog.
Balances
Did
out.
you adopt Madge or was it a purchase?
I rescued
Did
her.
you? You
from
rescued her
a
for an
breeder.
amount of money?
From a
or-
breeder, from a pug breeder.
Hey, Eli, why don't you go? Why don't you go, Eli?
Who rescued who? Am I right? All right.
It's whom?
Oops. Cecil, which of the following animal biographies would you like to read the most? A. Stop bombing yourself, you fucking idiots, by Cher and me, the war pigeon.
That's fucking amazing.
B.
That's
I'll stop
amazing.
eating your blanket if you feed me some fucking hay by Sergeant Reckless. C. The motherfucker who was incredibly late by Haicho. Or D. He was asking for it by Mr. Hands.
Okay.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
No.
He was, though.
Anything but D?
Yep, I think that's
That's
And that guy
correct.
took the
You
D and
got
killed
that
him.
right.
Yeah. So
Hooray.
All right.
Incorrect. What? We're correct. One more for you. Which of the following is the best title of the movie about the horse who does math?
I can't wait for this. It's amazing.
Is it A, Blued Will Hunting?
Fantastic.
I like that one. That's good.
Ridden Figures. C, Black Beautiful Mind by Black Beautiful Mind. Or D,
I like it.
Rain Man. Rain. R-E-I-N.
All of the above, they're fucking amazing.
That's correct. And
Ah.
you win.
All right.
Somehow, despite Rain Man, Cecil is our winner. So who's doing the next essay?
We're going to pick Tom next week.
All right. Well, for Cecil, Tom, Eli, and Heath, I'm Noah. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week. By then, Tom will be an expert on something else. Between now and then, you can bathe your ears in our other shows by checking the website for links. And if you'd like to help to keep this show going, you can make a per episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod or leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, check out past episodes, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes, be sure to check out citationpod.com.
And I figure, what the hell? The guy's been over. Nobody's around. Why not?
I am begging you to please stop telling me this story.
Hey, I listened to your story about the bombs.
Why did I not die, God? Why did I not die?
Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/get-started. That's GREENLIGHT.com/get started.